And so this is so crazy to me. So I'm on a trip and I'm like, let's check out all the coolest coffee places in the town. And so we were in Greenville, South Carolina, and I was like, oh, that place looks cool. And so we went there and we started talking to this guy. And so he's like, what are you here for? We're like, we're doing evangelism. And he's like, oh, let me share with you this experience I had. And so my friend Daniel, who's the guy right there with the orange shirt, he was actually asking the Lord personally to like link up on this trip with Messianic Jews. And he tells us this radical experience he has with Jesus, and that he's a Jew that grew up in Israel that fought with like the special forces of the IDF and other groups and saw all kinds of horrible, awful things. And he said he was like significantly traumatized from the things that he saw. And so he shares his testimony that he tried to kill himself with his rifle, and he pulled the trigger 3 times and it misfired 3 times, which is like extremely unlikely. And so he said when he did that, he heard someone spoke to him. He said, you pull it again, it's going. And so he said when he heard that, he threw the gun down and it went pop, pop, pop as soon as he threw the gun down. And so like his initial experience with Jesus was that these evangelists came and just handed him a Bible. And he said that his rabbis used to tell him when he was growing up, saying, if you even touch a Bible, you're going to hell. That's what they told him. And so he was like terrified of the Bible. But he was like, he took it. And so this is so crazy to me. So he took the Bible. He's like, oh, I didn't die. He's like, great. And so he said he threw it on top of his fridge. And then one day he opens the Bible. This is so radical to me. And he opens the Bible. It's Matthew chapter 1, the genealogy of Jesus. And he reads the genealogy of Jesus. And he says, this guy's one of me. And so like, listen, I read the Bible many times in my life. And sometimes you're reading through like First Chronicles and you're like, get me out of here. You know what I'm saying? You know, and like you read the genealogy of Jesus. And I'm like, I was so blown away by that. I was like, the Lord knows what he's doing. He has people that he's chosen that are going to read genealogies and get saved. He said he was like in some jungle somewhere. And he said that he had this radical encounter with Jesus. That Jesus, he said this bright light came into the room. And that in the room, from the light, he said there were these spheres of fire that were burning. And he said from the sphere of fire came Jesus. And he said Jesus walked through the fire and he spoke shalom. And that when he spoke shalom, it hit him in his spirit. And out of his mouth came Yeshua. And he had this, and he got saved.